time's up. Let's do this.
We're in for a wild night.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Born to be Wild, a Wild exclusive Hearthstone podcast where we have fun hanging out with friends, talking about the Wild format of Hearthstone and Twist, and hanging out with friends. I am your host, Nate Wolf. It is great to be back with three of my favorite people. It's been a while. We've had family here from out of state. It's kind of throwing everything off a little bit, but it's good to see everybody, and we had some holidays and stuff, so I've been absent for a while, but it's great to see everybody. Hydra, welcome back. How are you tonight?
I'm great. It's nice to see you, Nate. You have been missed. It's really good to have you back. Missed you a lot, buddy. And I'm doing awesome. It's it's not Friday night. It is Saturday night, but today is the greatest night of the week because we're here talking about this game and whatever the heck else nerd dads want to talk about. So, glad to be here.
Very, very good. It's great to see you as well. Sheep, welcome back. How are you?
Meowdy, friend. Doing fantastic. Great to have you back as well, my dude.
Thank you.
And very excited to talk about all the stuff and things this week. We got news. We got Wild and Twist stuff. This is going to be an exciting time. How are things, however, in Schmoopie Land?
I'm glad that we're doing tonight and not last night because I couldn't have done last night. So this actually was a happy accident.
Yeah, it worked out
for me. As Aramorn points out in chat, we need supervision. So welcome back, Nate, and thank you for returning.
Oh, gosh. Am I the Hearthstone dad? That's funny.
I think by default, you got me by about like 3 years or something. So yeah, sure.
A little bit.
Well, for those of you joining us for the first time, welcome aboard. We've got Hearthstone Dad over there, Nate Wolf. Let me briefly explain how this show works. We record this podcast live every Friday evening at twitch.tv/borntobewildhs. And the video version of this podcast is then posted to YouTube shortly thereafter. Audio versions are also distributed to all the podcast apps. So however you're watching, listening, or absorbing via osmosis, this podcast today, thank you. Yes, you.
Yeah, thank you everybody for being here, especially on an off night. It's great to be doing the show live. We've got people in chat. I really appreciate you all hanging out. So Armor and Goliath and Azalea Akari and everybody else, Blue Train. Thank you all for being here. Really appreciate it. And yeah, for those of you who are interested in supporting the show, we've got a few ways to do that. I did want to say a big thank you to Shakunin, the executive producer of our show, and to our patrons. Thank you so much for your support. If you are interested in supporting our show, there's a few ways of doing that for free. You want to like, comment, subscribe to our stuff on YouTube, leave a review on one of the podcast apps. Really helps a lot. We do have some merch that is available off of our website. I think the Schmoopie family has bought more of it than anybody else. That is a really cool sheep shirt. Oh my gosh. Oh, cool. Very cool. Hey, everyone's wearing one except me. But that's the new one. That's the Death Knight sheep. Oh, that's cool. If you're listening to it, you got to watch the audio. That looks really good though.
Like, it does. It looks dope. Especially on black, I think. With the like lasery green. Oh yeah.
Yeah, she knocked it out of the park on the artwork. Those were really cool. But it's hard to know how it's going to come out. Like you see it on the screen and it's like, oh, that looks pretty sweet. And I got them all done in like high res, but until you actually see it, like, wow, okay. But yeah, those turned out good. I recognize SchmoopieDaddy's got one. Hydra's got one. It's great. Got my Target t-shirt. But anyhow, yeah, super cool. We do have some emotes that you can get for free by following us on Twitch. There's some others that you can get by subscribing if you want to do that. It is free if you use Amazon Prime. Speaking of Amazon Prime, there is some free goodies right now. I think it's later in the show, but since we're on it, I think it's 3 free packs. Is that right? If you check in on Amazon Prime, I saw that recently. Oh, sorry, 1 pack. Oh, well.
Yeah, 1 standard pack. We take those.
1 pack, 1 free pack, but free is free. For those Diablo enjoyers, there's also a free mount and some goodies.
It's dope.
It's actually, yeah, it's pretty cool. It's like aquatic themed, which is not really my jam, but it's pretty cool and it's free. So like, yay, free stuff. So anyways, yeah.
Dude, there's actually, I'm not going to get super deep into it, but when I was on there, if you click through, there's a bunch of free games you can get.
Oh gosh, there's tons. Yeah.
There's like so much if you have Amazon Prime. Like, not sponsored. Hello, Amazon. But like, there was so much. There are games on there that I've paid real money for that say they're free right now.
Yeah, but I think you have to play them through some weird like platform. I think, I don't know. I saw them though, but it was like they have all of the gunmetal games or whatever they're called, like the 2D shooter ones.
Metal Slug.
Metal Slug. Yeah, what did I say? Gunmetal. Sorry, I was reading chat. SchmoopieDaddy's talking about Gunmetal Gray. I had a
My fault.
I had a brain slip.
Never read chat.
Yeah, no, that was a mistake. Anyways,
It
yeah,
was a mistake.
yeah. So I'm happy to be here, though. It's cool. It's been a while, so yeah. I still have to upload last week's episode. Whoopsies. But the plan is to do it this weekend. We've had family in town, and so from out of state, staying with us, which is kind of a little difficult when you have a small place, but it worked out, and we're always really happy to see everybody. And work has been super busy. Life has been super busy, but in good spirits. So that is what counts, right? So
Yeah, buddy.
yeah. I mean, I'm really curious to hear about everybody's week. Oh God, SchmoopieDaddy, I'm reading that in your voice. Nate. That means I'm gonna have to do some editing.
There was only one part, but I did mark down the time for you.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice. Yeah, my week has been busy. I haven't had much time to do stuff. I actually ended up working today as well. There's a lot going on right now because we just like the fiscal year starts on July 1. And so everybody's doing their contracts and their insurance and their purchasing and all this stuff. It just happens all at once, and it's just crazy. And
Chaos.
yeah,
Does all of it need like your little rubber stamp? Like, all right, we got to send this by Nate. Got to send this by Nate. Got to send this by Nate.
yes, and my department in general, it's me and several other people, but like I got to review all the contracts. I got to review all the insurance before it like gets approved, and the volume is ridiculous. And so, yeah, I work today. I'll probably do some more. I brought the computer home, so I'll probably do some tonight or tomorrow or whatever, just to try to like, I don't want to come in on Monday and be slammed. Like it's too stressful. I'd rather just kind of do a little bit on the weekend to kind of soften that blow. So anyways, but yes, I'm happy to be here. It's great. I'm glad it's the weekend. I've been really playing a lot of Diablo. I'm at the very I'm at like the very end of the story, I think. But it's hard to tell. Like the game is massive. And what I want to do as soon as I beat it is like start it over with a different class.
Well,
So,
yes.
I mean,
so you
Ooh.
just wait for because when season 1 starts, do it because ladder didn't start yet. So
yeah, that's true.
may
It
as
starts
well.
very soon, doesn't it? The tricky piece is like between like work and life balance type stuff.
did you say work?
work?
Work.
It's hard to play competitive stuff like that, but I could try. I did manage to make a new background. For those of you listening to the audio version, check this out on YouTube. There's a new background with some art. I'm curious to know what people think of like the lightning flashes, because it's very on brand, I think, with the Titan kind of theme and watching the trailer and stuff. Like there's a lot of that, but I don't want to set anybody's like photo sensitivity stuff off. And so if it's bad, like please let us know so I'll tweak it.
Does it look sick? But like,
I appreciate it. I just
that's
don't.
the one. That's the
I
one
know.
worry.
I know. I had the same thing, and it's been in the back of my mind since I made it. But it's something that can be
It
changed.
looks sick, and you are a Photoshop wizard, so
Oh, I appreciate it.
thank you.
It's fun. I got to use the Photoshop beta AI a little bit to help this time. Not a lot, but it helped me like clone some missing pieces. So I try to take these borders from the key art, but the problem is that when they make these things, here I'll drop it in so you can see. It's going to be huge, so I'm gonna have to let me resize it real quick. But what happens is they always there's two things. HD is 1920 by 1080, right? But they don't make it in those dimensions. It's off a little bit. And so it doesn't
rather large.
There we go. So you see,
There's a lot of scrolling.
It doesn't fit the whole screen. It's off by a little bit on the side there.
Oh no!
And so what I got to do is
triggering
is make it right, and then I gotta basically fill in the blanks because I don't want to stretch it because then it'll get distorted. So
yeah,
I make it fit on the left and fit on the right, and then there's gaps. And so I used the new Photoshop beta AI to help me fill in the gaps. So I had to do part of it manually. Cool. I had to do a lot of it manually, but I got it to help me fill in the gaps. And then the parts where the logo covers the bowl down here and the cards cover and stuff. I had to do some of that. I had to do a good chunk of it manually, but the AI thing helped a lot. I was surprised because last time we used it, it was it was pretty
hilarious,
ridiculous. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
I have to say, for this particular design, at least the double column kind of works, right? The way it's cut, it almost looks like it's a ridged column.
Oh
but
yeah,
everything
I
else
see
it. Everything else is kind of scuffed.
So
that looks like a lot of work.
So I had to cut I cut it all out, but there's a lot of it because there's things that are covering all the bottom parts, and so you can't really tell, right? That it's
no, it's so clean.
No. I appreciate it. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I just try to explain the process, but it's it's fun.
It's awesome.
Even sometimes when someone points something out to you and they're like, "Oh yeah, now I can see the flaw." I still don't see where it is. So
nope,
you're good.
The beauty of these is that I was very happy. A lot of times they lag on posting the high-res art on the press site, and they have at least the press release kit on there and the key art for Titans, and they don't always do that. In fact, they're still missing stuff for the last one. A lot of stuff for the last one, which made it very difficult, but whatever. Anyways. But yeah, that was my week. It's mostly been family and work, but I'm happy to do a little bit of photoshopping and stuff in the meantime. But I hear that there are, I'm sure you guys have more interesting things, and I'm interested to hear about Twist as well. But let me pass things off to Hydra. How have you been, buddy?
I've been really good, to be honest. Obviously, Twist is going to be a bit of a topic, so I'm going to start with that for my week. So, as you guys remember, last week I was happier than a pig in poo that I ended up getting, the 10x multiplier, right? And I was like, sweet. They based it on my MMR of Wild, and that was great. So I got the 10x. I was super stoked. But then, as you all know, there was only 4 days to play. And Hydra did not have a lot of time in those 4 days. So only hit, I can't remember. It was plat 10 or 5 or something like that, in the time that I had. And even though I still got 10x in Wild, they brought me down to 8x in Twistland. Yeah, so that stung a little bit. And you know what? I get it. I do get it. But I know everyone's got their gripe. SchmoopieDaddy started off with 2x last month, and he could tell his own story of how that went. But
you were pretty pissed.
I was pissed. How do you go from 10 to 8? Right? I understand it was based on how well you did, right? And whatever win rate percentage you had and everything. But if they had just taken the Wild MMR again, I would have had the 10 star again. Yeah. But they didn't. They based it on the 4 days that you had. Yeah. And some people were working. Some people were on vacation, right? So they based it on those 4 days.
Oh God, I'm gonna have a 1-star bonus.
Well, no, it actually that's funny because again, and Hydra can kind of speak to this. You're actually kind of penalized if you play and then don't do well.
Yes. Okay. So I'm totally gonna go with what SchmoopieDaddy just said. So on EU, get this, Nathaniel Wolf. On EU, I didn't log a single game in those 4 days on Twist.
You got 11x or what?
I didn't get 11. I got 10 for not playing. I didn't play a darn game. So, in fact, me trying to hit Legend on NA, I got quote unquote punished, right? Like the game isn't trying to hurt me, the devs aren't trying to hurt me, the system isn't trying to hurt me, but that's how it feels, right?
It's very it's very on brand though. I feel like I
did nothing on EU, and it's like, oh, here's your Legend star bonus again for doing 0 things. And by the way, on NA, you tried your best in the time you had, and here's your 8x. Like, I was like, really?
This is a question that comes up like fairly frequently with the casual audience who are just like, okay, SchmoopieDaddy, I've screwed up. I want to play Thief Rogue, but my star bonus is too high. Like my MMR is too high. I keep queuing into meta decks. What do I do? And I tell them take a month, literally concede 5, 6, 7 games in a row.
You can't do that now. They will report you.
Sure. Sorry. Queue up a dog poo-poo deck and play it out, absolutely, 5 or 6 times, and then don't play Wild at all, or whatever game mode you choose to do this in, like at all for that month, and it will tank you several star bonuses. Like having a bad win rate, even in a small sample size, is worse than not playing at all. Yeah, because for whatever reason, not playing at all, they give you grace, which is like, I kind of get that, because it's like, well, what if I don't have time that month to play and what? Like, it's less punishing than not playing at all, but like, I don't know, it's Wild. It's Twist.
Or it's Twist.
But you get the idea.
And I had like not a terrible win rate. Like it was something like 56%. Let's take a number out of the air. Like it was positive. Right? Yeah. But you know, it was weekdays, right? Anyway, just didn't happen. Anyway, I was pretty disappointed because I stayed up till midnight after the show last week, and I'm like, let's just see what happens. I'm stoked. In fact, I actually posted on Twitter. I don't often delete my tweets, but I did. I posted on Twitter.
Oh no! Is it an angry tweet?
No. It was for those of you that are hopeful about your star bonus, because I got to see what my EU one was going to be. I posted like, for those of you wondering, like, don't worry about it. I still got my 10x. It's fine. And then midnight hit, and I got 8 on EU or on NA. I'm like, I'm gonna go delete that.
No, actually worry.
Oh no.
Yeah, I deleted it. I was like, oh no. I gave everyone false hope. Nobody can see it. But now I'm saying it on the show. So
I was awake when Hydra was having this reaction fresh. And he's like messaging me in game, and he's just like, I can't believe it. Like what the hell, man? Like I can't, like what happened? And like you were pissed. And
I was
like that. It was. I've never seen you pissed. So this was pretty funny. Yeah. I'm sorry that it happened.
I mean, it's funny looking back. It's not funny when it comes to your star bonus ends at plat 5.
No,
it's brutal.
It's bad when it happens.
Okay. But if your win rate's good enough, like it should boost again, right? Like that's like the silver lining, where like if you earn if you put in the games, if you can, and again, we have a longer season now. We had like our 30 games. Yeah. If you put in the games now and you have a higher win rate, that should fix itself.
It's just a bummer though to not get very much time to play, and then be penalized for it.
100%.
I mean, it feels bad. Whatever. I don't know.
Well. Basically, that was my week, right? Also, along with Mr. Wolf here, the Diablo thing's still a thing.
It's so good, and the game is enormous. Like,
I've been loving it, and I'm playing the crap out of it. So, still going to be doing that thing. Nate Wolf and I are starting a podcast called Lilith to be Wild or Born to be Lilith, I think. Something like that. Just kidding. That's not a real thing.
I mean, don't tempt me.
it's a blast, and yeah, you can find me on there too. Like it's just so fun. It's so
the
fun.
story is remarkably good because the story in 3 was just bad. Like it wasn't bad. It was boring and done before.
That's almost worse.
Yeah, it's just it had been done so many times, and it's like, oh, Diablo is back. Oh, we gotta kill him. Oh, his brothers are back. Oh, we gotta kill. Oh no, like, I mean, that was Diablo 3, right? Basically,
you're right.
Oh wait, it came back.
I mean, it's always but like Diablo 1 and 2 and 3, like that's just recycled story over and over, and this is very different. It's very different, and Lilith is super crazy. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's a good game. So, and I love that you can respec your character with no penalty. Like, you pay some gold, but
you mean you don't have to find like 4 special items and then craft them into a thing?
That was
and
brutal.
Then respec your character like you have to do in Diablo 2.
I need these items 3.
Dude, you had to do it. You had to like find these items that only like drop off a veil or whatever, and they drop like a 1 in 1,000. And if you could collect them all, then you could respec. Like it was.
Yeah, and what if you didn't like it?
Especially with these items 3, grindy it be.
Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway, let's.
Wait. Did you get any new Stephen King books?
Yeah.
My gosh. I finished The Dead Zone, by the way, which. If anybody out there, I know Sheep is reading 11/2/2063.
That's good.
If you like you haven't read The Dead Zone, have you, Sheep?
No, not yet.
Oh, you can tell. So he wrote that back in like 1981, 82, something like that.
He was doing all the drugs.
Yes, and Christopher Walken in the movie plays the main character. If you go back and read The Dead Zone when you're done 11/22/63, you're like, I know he was already trying to write 11/22/63 when he wrote The Dead Zone.
Wow.
Like there is so many, like, not necessarily canon connections, but like the ideas were there. Like the whole thing was flowing already. It's good. And The Dead Zone's a classic, but
wait. Didn't you say there's a in like it bleeds or something like that? There's like a
yeah. So I guess for anybody who also likes to read Stephen King books, the newest one that is coming out is called Holly, right? And so that is based on a character called Holly Gibney, and she is a character from the Bill Hodges trilogy, like the Mr. Mercedes and Finders Keepers, like that thing, and End of Watch, I guess, is the third one.
Yeah.
Then there's The Outsider. Right,
that one was really good. Oh my gosh!
Oh, The Outsider is awesome. But what I didn't realize until I was watching some sort of review on YouTube is that in the book, If It Bleeds, or it's like a novella collection. The main story in there is actually called If It Bleeds, and that is based on Holly as well. And that came out only in 2020. So it's a must read before you actually get into Holly, which is coming out in September.
Nice.
And yes, my hardcover collection of Stephen King books is getting really good. Like I have like 42 or 43 of them in hardcover now. So it's
whoa.
Yeah, I'm super stoked. It's looking pretty good. But I'm at the point where there's only like the really expensive ones left. And so like I'm really, really trying to find cheap ones in used stores, like that sort of thing.
Hit up those like neighborhood garage sales, like you'll find some.
Yeah.
Or you know what? Send me what you're missing. Like they do them all the time, especially in the summer around my parents' house. Like they just do them and people have so much stuff. Like
I'll do that. Actually,
I'll keep a list or I'll keep a lookout.
A couple of the bookstores, used bookstores by my house, there's one in the city I live in, and there's one in like an adjacent city. They both told me to send them an email with the ones that I'm missing. And when they come in, they'll email me and let me know that, or call me and let me know that they're there. Because they appreciate the collectors. Because like, unfortunately for bookstore owners, hardcovers take up real estate, right? Like they sit on the shelf. People rather buy a copy of like this ratty old paperback for $2 and read it and then resell it than spend a little more on the hardcover because they're not collecting it. They just want to read it for entertainment value, right?
Right.
So anyway, they're like, yeah, like we will help you. Obviously, they're going to make money off of it as well, but I don't care.
Yeah, that's how businesses work.
That's how
but
they
it's
work.
cool. It's cool when you get that relationship going.
Runestones.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. By the way, this is not related, but like I was watching the new. So Marvel Snap does like a monthly like dev update where they talk about the new season. But this one, it was Ben Brode and Yan Wu that were from Hearthstone for a long time, right? But this time, like they're doing the Phoenix Force, and to talk about like the fire stuff, they were like introducing the cards and talking about the stuff as they were eating like these spicy things, and they were increasing in spiciness. And like by the time, like by the end of like the thing was like 10 minutes long maybe, and like by the end of it he couldn't even talk. Like he was just stumbling over his words, and it was so funny. Like you could tell that he wasn't like,
he's in pain.
Yes, and he couldn't think straight because he was like stumbling over his words, and it was so funny because they were just like the name of this card, or what does this do, or you know, he just couldn't get the words out. It was so
Was it
funny.
spicy grilled? Was it spicy grilled cheese?
If only. I think it wasn't like, you know those shows though where it's like the different hot wings, but it wasn't hot wings each time. It was like hot wings and then soup and then some dish and then something else. Like, I don't know, it's on YouTube if you want to watch it. I don't want to derail the show.
Spicy grilled cheese is cheating because you've got the fat from the cheese cutting the capsaicin or whatever chemical content you've got there.
I don't know. So I like quesadillas a lot.
Ooh.
And we make them pretty spicy around here. So
Around
I
those
don't
parts.
know. I never.
It's like dipping your chicken wing in like blue cheese, right? Like you're like kind of cutting it a little bit. Like it's complementing, but you're also kind of cutting down the spiciness.
Interesting take. I'm not a food scientist.
The best way to deal with spicy food is to drink milk. Like you want a liquid that's going to deal with it. You drink milk. So like high fat content. Like don't at me. Like that's.
And you immediately feel it curdling in your stomach.
For like unrelated advice right now, but like that's just saying.
All right. Well, speaking of being derailed, let's stop that thing and ask Electric Sheep City, how was your week?
Oh, hey, that's me. My week was great. So Saturday rolled around and I had 11x in Twist. So it was funny because it like popped up and it said 10x, and I was like, oh, weird. But I guess they haven't like coded the if the Twist is higher than, then it displays that at the like opening screen or whatever. Because whenever I went into play, it was like 11x. I was like, oh, cool, neat. Thank you.
Well done.
So I played a lot of Dude Paladin on day one. Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry, I forgot to click the button. Look at this, rank 9 legend. What?
Yeah, buddy. On day one.
That is a very, very low / high number.
That's
that
incredible.
I have not achieved yet.
That's less than 10.
It's true, but more than 2.
That is more than 2.
Yeah. Was that staged?
Yeah, so played a ton of dudes. Dudes got buffed. Went face with those dudes. Got 9x, or got 9x. Got start blah blah blah. Entered legend at 9. It was really, really good, in particular in the early times, because like Quest Druid was all around, and oh hey, we play a ton of taunts.
With Divine Shield too.
Yeah, they've got Divine Shield with the boogie down, and then if they like waste their rake, then you've got the Warhorse trainer. So all of your dudes that you just go super wide with, they all have taunt, and they can't kill your Warhorse trainer because all of your dudes have taunt. It's great.
What a weird meta like wrinkle where the best deck is just so completely undone by taunt. If you can consist, it's so freaking weird, and like you've beautifully like exposed that like right here.
Well, and so
deck.
I've still been playing this deck and like winning. like today I played I think like 10 games and lost like 2.
Wow.
Like it was wild.
I'm actually super impressed.
It was Twist.
Wait, did you switch your
that's
list
true.
though? Because there's a different. Like I have a
Did so
Yes.
Dudes
Okay.
V2 is what I have right here. So
with Burger Uther. I love it.
Burger Uther. And anytime I play someone I know, I either start or end it with Burger Uther in the text chat. But so I cut Stewart the Steward and Lothraxian. Like they're both good, but like are they worth running a slot? Not really. I also cut One Day at the Fair, which is the 3 mana, like you get 3 dudes, but if it's not infused, the one where you play something higher than it, that one. So if you play something that costs higher than 3, corrupted. That's it. Then it's corrupted and it
Yes.
poops out 5 dudes instead of 3. Wasn't really corrupting it a ton, so I cut one of those, but like having more dude makers is still good. So dropped in 2 light rays and the Purator. So if all of these things are still in your deck, then with Purator you're drawing double light ray, one of the Simple Sous Chefs, and double Jukebox Totem, because that is both a mech and a totem. Exactly why you get the double light rays, because they are elemental and beast. So you draw 5 if you haven't drawn anything from, if you haven't already drawn those cards. And typically you can drop free 5/5s with Taunt, which is just awesome.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Is a mech that's also a totem a modem?
Ooh.
Yes. Yes.
Definitively, yes. Absolutely.
Sorry.
Definitively yes.
Didn't want to derail. Go back.
That's funny.
I had a
That's
thought.
funny. I like it.
So I've been having a blast playing the Wild Adjacent format. I've been playing a little bit of our format as well, mostly even Death Knight. Not played a ton of it so far this season, but I have played. That's mostly what I'm playing whenever I'm in Wild. I'm still working on the 1000 Wen or Death Knight portrait, and I don't think I'm ever gonna end up actually running it since I have Psy. Like
You
he's
got
just
the
so cool.
yeah, you got the amazing one.
Yeah,
so
you got the better one.
like, why bother, right? I think.
Yeah, but I'll want it in my collection. So like
Collection wise, gotta
yeah.
catch them all.
Make them both
Exactly.
favorites, and then you're like alternating every other game, pretty much.
But I always want it to
statistically.
be Psy.
Oh, in that case, no, forget that. Ignore me.
That was
Yeah.
that was too good of an achievement to let slide, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it works great with the like Castle Nathria like red card back that looks all like spooky and stuff. Like it works perfect with Psy as the hero. So
Yeah, so
I've
I
got
saw
my
that
go-to.
there's a card back to match each of the 3 Death Knight heroes, right? Like, well, like red Psy and then blue Psy or whatever, right? And then the green one that we got last time there was a Heroic Brawl, Scarlet or something like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it's crazy that the card backs that match those came out like years ago, right?
Yeah.
Whenever
Ages.
was it, like in Frozen Throne or whenever we got Keleseth, right? It was way back when. So
Yeah. And so I'm running a slightly different one than the one that's specifically the Blood DK1. But it still matches really well with Psy. I like to do that whenever I'm not just going like, okay, whatever. I've marked things that I like as my favorites. We'll just roll with it. But when it's a one that's like sticking around in my collection for a little while, like I know that I'm going to put on a hero portrait and a card back. So it's matching those and making them complement and look all cool. It's what you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. So, SchmoopieDaddy, how was your week, my friend?
So I know Nate hasn't posted the video, the episode yet, but I was probably at my least stable last week that I've been in a long time, especially when like connected to a video game. My wife is awesome and loves me, and so she let me stay up and took the kids in the morning so that I could get like, I don't know, like 4 hours of sleep or 3 hours of sleep or something like that. So I stayed up until reset, trying to grind out Twist. And we even did some co-op with Sheep. I
got you to 3.
Even after you got me to 3, I got myself to 4 and no stars. So I did not hit Legend and Twist like I had planned. Twist, you won. Meta's super cursed. I just didn't. It wasn't my thing. But I grinded the hell out of it, and I couldn't get that far and then not try. So the ladder resets, and I look at my number, and I'm like, they gave me 11x in Twist.
So did Twist really win, or did you win?
Fake format. Like I did, like just no. Just like what? Why? Why give me why? But I guess I was, for whatever reason, when you talk about win rate, I was up in like the top whatever percentage, probably near the bottom of the top 10% of Twist players. So there you go. So I went from 2x to 11x. And so I hit
That's quite
Legend.
the jump.
I hit Legend in Twist.
Big jump.
After I hit Legend in Wild first. So again, the picture, this is how this is working out. This is how this is breaking down. I'm staying up until reset.
I'm not gonna lie, I was very jealous.
I don't blame you, Hydra. I don't blame you, but like
By a little, he means a lot.
At that point, I had probably played close to more games of Twist than almost anybody else alive on it.
You know what?
So
that I do not believe that you are incorrect. There is no way, right? Like the amount that you climbed with a 2-star bonus, you're probably the person who played the most games of Twist.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so because there were some people who. I think there are probably more people who put more time into Twist than I did. But for 4 days, I did life it.
They didn't sleep then, right?
I mean, I did. And like I took breaks, and like there are some. I'm positive that I'm not the one, but I was close to it as far as like people absorbed in the format. Because just on sheer queue times, because there are people who played a ton of Twist, like almost as much time as I did, or as much time as I did, or more time than I did. But with their higher MMR, Twist being such a small format, an issue that you came into was queue times. And so my queue times were always small. I always had short queue times. I had some people who were dealing with like 3, 4, 5 plus minute queue times. Yeah,
30-minute queue time. 30 minutes.
15-minute queue times. Wow. That's insane.
Well, and you were winning games and losing ranks, right? Which is also really nutty. I mean,
yeah.
So I like that was like I guess the big story with Twist, but like this is the timeline, right? So I stay up until reset. I'm like, well, I'm awake at reset. Might as well play some Wild now.
Is that 3 a.m. for you?
Yeah. And so
for context.
For context. And so I won my 5 games. I probably played 6 games, won 5 of them. Right at reset. Just I wanted to get my card back. So it's like, all right, I'll get this out of the way. Got my card back. Went to sleep. Got day 1 Legend with Wild. I was not going to be cute this month. I was just like, screw it. I'm just going to do even Shaman the whole way. But I tried new cards. I put in Jam Session over Devolves, and I put in Stereo Stomper and ETC, and in ETC I had Lotheb, Storm's Wrath, Brucon. If you want the list, check out Neon's website, check my Twitter. Went 40 and 15. Got day 1 Legend and Wild with the 10X crew. That was fine. And then I was just like, all right, what do I do next this week? And so it was like, all right, well, I have 11X in Twist. Might as well just play Twist, I guess. Sheep, you were saying, you were like, well, it was really funny because like I got a different bonus when I logged in than what I got for like Wild and when I got for Twist. Like I logged in the next morning and it was just like 7X you earned. And I was just like, sure, fine, because I didn't play
way better than 2.
So I had seen that I'd gotten 11X in Standard. I knew that I'd gotten 10X in Wild, and then like I guess like I have 7X in Standard. I have no reason to play Standard whatsoever. There's nothing in that format that interests me. Like, no, I do not want to play another XL Priest. No, thank you.
I like Unholy Death Knight. Unholy Death Knight's fun.
You know what I don't like? Love Everlasting on 3. No, thank you. So I am going to stay the hell away from Standard. I'm good with that. And so I played Outcast Demon Hunter, not Outcast Demon Hunter, Questline Demon Hunter. I was a nerd on Twitter and was just like, actually,
you told me I couldn't call it that.
Yeah, you can't. You can't.
But you just did.
I slip of the tongue. Anyway, so I played that. I played that to Legend, and I got there with the glides before the nerfs.
Very good.
And so we're going to talk about the nerfs in a little bit, and I have a great story with the nerfs. So I won't spoil it now. But that was basically my Hearthstone week. Is like I've done that, and right now I'm grinding when I'm not fulfilling daily quests, which I haven't played a ton in the last couple days. But I'm 18-6 with like a fatigue seed lock that I really like that Hydra made. That's fun and good into the decks that I'm seeing. And so maybe next week I'll highlight that a little more. This show for me is impromptu because I didn't think I was going to be able to post this week, and now, hey, I'm here just because the time shifted. But on a personal level, like on a kid's level, the big news is that daughter is working on potty training herself. We have 3 days in a row of poopy in the potty, and that is great because that means that I am just one step closer to never wiping a butt again that isn't my own. So I am super excited about that. And like she's been great about it. This has been mostly her driven. And now we went on vacation and we went into a new setting and she had a couple accidents. But that's like she's not in her usual environment, and she's like, and the family that we're with is chill. They're just like, hey, whatever. The dog does it all the time. It's 16 years old. So like they had a system for dealing with it. But we're super excited for that, where it looks like this summer is the summer where I'm done with diapers. And as we all know on here as nerd dads, well, not Sheep yet. Sheep, you've got some time. But as Hydra and Nate know, once you're done with diapers, you have a real existential crisis of like, do I ever want to deal with diapers again? So that's where I am. That's where I'm at.
I will say, don't stop buying wet wipes though.
Yeah, no, they are OP.
Yeah.
I actually know that from my mom. My mom constantly has wet wipes stocked up in her house, and they're so like you said, there's so much utility to a wet wipe versus a dry wipe. Yeah, no, wet wipes. OP Blizzard, please nerf. Actually, don't. Just leave them as they are. Make them wild. I don't know. Move them to wild early. Whatever. That's my week. We've got other things to do. Let's keep this ball rolling.
All right.
Welcome to the news. The news is so good.
Wow. Who is that amazing singer?
It's one of my favorite artists of all time.
Big same.
Well,
Stardra.
This isn't like amazing news or anything, but when I logged in, and you know how you get that little like notification on the store, and you're like, what are you trying to sell me now, Hearthstone? Well, this time it was just like a free pack. It was just sitting there.
Cool.
Like,
thank you.
So, like,
There you go.
that is there like every once in a while. There'll be like a thing like, oh, you could have this hero or like whatever. So I'm always going in there like hopeful that he'll give me a free thing. And sorry, watches on this end. I was going in there like looking like, hey, is there a free thing? And this time there was. I was like, hey, I'll take that. I mean, like, it's a free pack. It's, you know,
how many people were mad because it wasn't like a different type of free pack? We're like, it should have been a free Titans pack and not a free standard pack.
Shut up and take it and go. Oh
yeah,
God.
no, I was happy. It's a free thing. Though, like, I'm guessing not everybody clicks on the store, right? So, like, for me, like, maybe if you just log in and it was like, waha, here's your free card, you know, like pops up right in front of you, that would be cool. But you got to click on the store to find it. So make sure if you haven't done that, just do it. Click on the store. It's in there.
It's good to know, though, because the store is always so buggy. Like, there were so many times that I would...
Oh, it's buggy, you say?
...have, like... you know, looked at everything so many times, and it's like, no, I do not want to buy the gold standard bundle. No, thank you. And then I'd click off of it, and now it's, you know, not highlighted anymore. And next time I open it up, it's like highlighted again. I'm like, stop it. I don't want to buy it.
Am I clearing the false notification or getting a free pack?
Right? Yeah. Free pack.
This time it was free pack.
Hey.
They did a lot of this though. They threw a lot of like free packs at you. Like I remember being free to play being like, no, I don't want to spend money on this.
Free
game.
to pay.
This is not me. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Oh man, just see how much extra money you're gonna have when you don't have to spend it on diapers anymore.
Oh, I know. Oh, good point.
Won't be packs of diapers, packs of cards.
But like, they gave away what, like 9 packs on Twitch.
Yeah,
like a crazy amount, like a bunch from all the expansions that were like Twist expansions, and then we had, I mean, the Twist. Not to get ahead of the news. I have no idea what's in the news, but not to get ahead of the news. Like that, there's also like the new event that happened that also had like a bunch of packs. Like they threw a bunch of like free value at us in a very short period of time.
Oh yeah.
So it's like if you're really complaining about the one stand, like it is a little bit like, I'm not going to say demeaning, but like, it's almost just like, well, here's your free pack. And it's just like, okay, thanks Blizzard. Like,
thanks, Papa B.
Well, so like,
but at the same time, like they gave us a whole chunk of free stuff, especially if you have Prime Gaming, and there were three standard packs that you could claim for free right now, which you should do. They're throwing a lot of free value at people to get them into Twist. So like, take advantage.
Yeah, and to like continue on with what you were saying, the event that's going on right now with Twist is ridiculously easy to finish. Like, we're talking, you do
play
it for
2
like,
ranked games. Okay.
yeah, like it's there was one that says like win a game in Twist, I think, but like
Asterisk, you have to play a Twist.
Yeah.
You cannot do it simultaneously in another game mode like the other events. So that there's a big asterisk there.
I did re-roll. Like I was playing a deck that didn't have death rattles, and I got like a death rattle one, so I re-rolled it, right? But I think I finished it in the 3 days. In 3 days, right? And I actually think I missed one of the quests and still did it because you only needed 1,000 XP on this one.
Yeah,
and it was done so fast. And would you get like half a dozen packs for it?
Yeah,
something
6 packs. Yep.
Yeah. So it that was super cool. If you haven't done it, do it. If you don't play Twist, you can still do it extremely easily. Like I think they knew what they were doing with this one. It's to get everyone to dip their toes into the mode.
Well, and especially people who play Wild, like, hey, these are packs that are legal in Wild. Whether like try Twist, see if you like it. If you don't, then like you got the Wild packs, but we got you to dip your toe in. And if you do like it, then cool. Here's some more packs of the things that are Twist legal right now. I mean, it's win-win.
Yeah,
do it. Get your value. Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Smart on their part.
I will take the free things.
I hit Legend and I was done playing Twist. Like I was literally like, wow, I never have to play this game mode ever again until they swap out this rule set. And then this event came up and I was just like, gosh darn it, you've hooked me for 6 more packs.
I guess I'm playing again. That's hilarious.
Your barrier to entry was low.
So
cost entry.
Our good buddy Ridiculous Hat posted something that we're going to see coming up in patch 27.0, which is a new feature called related cards. Now, we sort of have this in a way where, like, if you say you click on Disciple of Cthulhu in your collection, beside it, it will show you Cthulhu, right? Like that goes next to it. But what this is going to do is it's going to show up to 6 cards that will be displayed that are related to the card that, say, you want to craft or you already have. So you sort of get a little bit of insight into, like, do I want this legendary? And if I need this legendary, what else comes with it, right? Because sometimes you want to craft a legendary, but you don't fully understand. Oh, well, maybe there's like 4 epics and another legendary that doesn't make this thing work until I have those, right? So this is just a cool little insight to show all of the 6 of the related cards that come with the card that you want.
That's pretty cool. So they're not necessarily like have the same keyword. It's just like synergies or what?
I mean, Yeah,
what
go
that
ahead,
one
Sheep.
looks like is like the abilities. So one of the card that's shown is one of the new cards, the Titans. That one's Sargeras. So like the different abilities that you can get from it. One of which is like summoning imps. So it shows the imps, and that one has like the portal. So it shows what the portal's like. It seems like it's capped out at 6 currently, but I don't know if it's always going to be 6 or what. I would imagine, and this is just me kind of like armchair sheep over here, like looking at what I will probably be seeing in the client, like choose one cards, right? I'm going to show you like what each, because they have their own name, they have their own card art. Like I imagine that we'll see those in the related cards as well, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's
Cool.
it's super neat. I like it. I think
A lot of-
yeah.
Yeah,
Go
go
ahead,
ahead.
SchmoopieDaddy.
No, I was gonna say a lot of deck building at least in Wild for sure, is like package based. It's like, okay, well, what packages do I fit together in order to make a coherent deck? And so this is like not a perfect step towards it because they're gonna show you a lot of crap in a package, right? So like you're gonna see a lot of stuff that's related, and you're like, all right, well, this is all the stuff that's related, but it's better at organizing a bunch of stuff, and you're going to miss fewer cards if you look at it in this way, where it's just like, oh, let's say I want to see all the choose ones. Like you pick one of the good choose ones, and now you have one of the good choose ones in front of you, and now you can kind of filter through some of the bad ones, and maybe you don't see all of them, and maybe you miss one, and I don't fully know how this is going to go, but this is better than nothing. So like this is closer to showing packages. Like I doubt if you select Flurgle, it's automatically going to show you Toxfin, blah, 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 blah. It's going to show you a ton of Murlocs, right? So again, it's going to be a little bit imperfect, but if it's like cute and sorts it by win rate or something like that, like that's a big win. That's a big win.
I also don't know if it's like showing other cards in your collection that are related. I think it's more like in the example of Sargeras there, it's like the portal that he summons and the imps that come out. Whereas in Power of the Wild, it would be like the Panther, or like the 2 different whatever they're called, the one that gives you a +1/+1 all your minions, or the one that gives you a Panther. I don't think it's going to be like, here are the different choose one cards. It's like, here are the different cards that you get to choose from in your choose one.
Even still, it's a neater way of displaying something like Symphony, right? Like Symphony of Sins, where it's like you've got a bunch of options to choose from, and you're like, I don't know all the top of it. I'm interested to see how this ports to mobile, because mobile right now doesn't even have like you select a card and it gives you the option of what it looks like. I imagine they made this change with mobile in mind, so I'm excited for it.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I think they usually do that because so many people play on mobile. I have to imagine anyways.
Me too.
Yeah. In the bath even. So there we go.
All right, what do we got next? Oh, I think what we have next is
Batches.
Yahar.
Yeah. Looks like there was a patch.
There was, and they changed a few cards and said patch Aruni. There is one change that was made for standard, so we'll gloss over that real quick. That was Death Blossom Lomper. Was 5 mana, is now 6 mana, 6/5 with Battle Cry. Draw a Death Rattle minion and gain its Death Rattle.
The Whomping
There
Willow.
was a kind of, yeah. There was a really high rolly deck in standard, and this slowed it down a bit. Cool. I'm here for it. There were no balance changes made specifically with Wild in mind, but the Wild adjacent, yes, SchmoopieDaddy.
Corbett was really high on this card before it got nerfed. He was just like, there could be something here for like a Wild Druid to work with in this form that snuffs that out. So like,
it does, but also was definitely not made with Wild in mind for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no.
So in the Wild adjacent format of Twist, there were 3 bans, one of Glide, one of Crypt Keeper, and one of Refreshing Springwater. You can't remember what those do. Glide is the one that shuffles it's Demon Hunter, shuffles your hand into your deck, and then you draw 4 cards. If it's Outcast, your opponent does that too.
These are temporary, right? Like they'll, I assume anyways, that they'll like
yes
rotate
Just
when
for
the
this
format
Yeah.
changes.
Exactly. Just for this format, with the rule set, what Hat is trying to get to catch on is with this twist, which makes sense because that's the twist that's on it is, just class cards, for example.
They totally stole the listener series idea from us and just incorporated it into the game proper. Just saying.
I really think they did. And I'm here for it.
I mean, it's fine.
Royalties, Blizzard?
Cough, cough, cough.
Well, not only that, I think they even got advice from a band for me. I have a funny story about one of these cards. So I've played Deck Tech twice on Twist Ladder. And the first time he absolutely annihilated me. I think he was playing Questline Druid or something like that. And I drew dead and he just bashed me in the face until my portrait exploded. The second time I was playing Questline Demon Hunter into Drakefire Mage. So he was trying Drakefire Mage. And I got to glide him twice, and both times he emoted. So I think that there's a decent chance that SchmoopieDaddy got glide banned from Twist, and I will stand by that as a possibility.
And Deck Tech trying out that mage may be why Refreshing Springwater also got banned. So Refreshing Springwater, of course, draw 2 cards, refresh 2 mana crystals for each spell drawn. So if you played an Incanter's Flow and you draw 2 spells, boom, you get all your mana back. You're paying 4, you're getting 4 back. Otherwise, you're paying 5 and you're getting 4 back. Also great. It was just one of the ways that Hala Mage was just going off, was not having to pay mana and drawing cards. Like, cool. The final ban is
ton with that deck. Shocker! I played a ton of the Hala Mage.
I haven't seen it a whole lot. Like, I'd see it every now and then, but not a whole lot. In my kind of pocket meta, whenever it was there, it did fine. Nothing like to write home about, but fine. Finally, there is Crypt Keeper. That is an 8 mana 4/6 undead with taunt. I said 8 mana 4/6 with taunt. That seems pretty bad, but of course, it costs 1 less for each armor that you have.
Oh, so 0 mana 4/6 taunt.
Exactly, because it is a druid card. Hit the nail on the head, Nate. So these are now banned, and the really cool thing is that you can get full dust refunds for these. So like I had a ton of Crypt Keepers and I want to say it was Glides. Oh no, it was Crypt Keepers and then the standard card, the Wumper. Like I got a ton of dust because I'm a dust speculator. That's one of the things that I do. And so I got so much from this, and like, I mean, I'm going to keep the card in gold, but like I got a ton of dust for all of my extra copies. So
I do advise for everybody who has advanced collections to do as Sheep does here, which I have done for the last couple of years, is to be a dust speculator. Like you have 0 reasons to get rid of them at this point, right? Like unless you like the big number in the bottom corner, just keep them, right? Because it could happen and you can get 4 times the dust for it if you hold on to it, right? So I'm gonna look because I don't dust anymore. I'm not a dirty duster on anything. So I'll
and if you search refund in the collection, you can see what all's been nerfed and that you get a full refund for. Check it. What I used to do is whenever things were rotating into Wild, I would dust my duplicates. Like I would keep, obviously, like the cards, but I would dust my duplicates of it because like, what are the odds that things are going to be nerfed in Wild? Not very. What are the odds that a random card like Crypt Keeper is going to go into Twist and need to be banned? I mean, it seems like much higher. So I may not be dusting my extras at rotation anymore because of the outside possibility of a refund from a Twist ban.
I actually have applied this to my free-to-play accounts as well. If there is nothing I need to play, so I don't have to craft something like use dust that I potentially have, I have applied this and I have gotten duplicates over multiple nerfs that I've been able to like utilize this 4 times dust, right? Like this isn't actually even just like a tactic when you have an advanced collection. You can if you have the control, and it's very hard, trust me, because I started off with nothing like everyone else. You can do this too. Anyways, SchmoopieDaddy looks excited to tell me something about this, so
I want to yes and sheep a little bit. What's kind of crazy is like it's almost not safe to dust anything because you don't know what's going to get buffed and added to core. Like and they're not, as we saw with Earth and Scales, they're not afraid to then nerf a core card for balance and standard. Now, I'm going to use my platform for a minute. Why the hell hasn't Earth and Scales been reverted yet? But Blizzard?
I'm going to go with Linecracker Druid. That's why it hasn't been reverted
did we
yet.
really need to? Did we really need? Really? Did we like?
I mean, did we need to? No, but we don't need to unnerf it either. I'm okay with it. I might like a little cracker in my off time. Can we unnerf Earth and Scales, please? Anyway, but please, like no. You don't. Honestly, like you don't know what they're gonna buff and then add to core, and it's just like, oops, they buffed this too far, and then have to like dial it back. And even though you don't get dust for the core set copies, if you have wild copies, you will get a dust refund for your wild copies. So it's like almost kind of like wild how, or twist or standard. It's a little bit goofy now how like almost anything's free game, because I think they want to take more and more. I'm seeing a trend of they want to take old cards and buff them to fill in gaps of like, we don't need to make a new card. Let's take an old bad card nobody is using and let's improve it and have that, use that as a resource that like literally just sitting there rotting. Let's reuse this as a resource and kind of update it and bring it up to speed. And sometimes it's still not good enough, and we've seen that. But like it's interesting because especially for us as Wild players, our collections have much more value with this outlook, because all of a sudden like we're going to have cards that are unplayable that are suddenly playable again, or in some cases absolutely busted, like Warhorse Trainer. Like who greenlighted Warhorse Trainer? Like whoever it is, I thank you.
Who you can play Odd Paladin on ladder and do fairly well right now because Warhorse Trainer is so freaking busted.
Oh, don't tempt me.
I will tempt you. It's a decent deck. It's off meta. It's not like you're not going to see it on a tier list, but you will play it and win games because it like, yes, it is kind of busted. So, but like,
please send me the list.
Keep that in mind. I'll find one.
Excellent.
There's a couple.
Continue.
There's a couple.
Excellent.
No, I'm good. That was it. I was just saying like oh yeah, well the stuff rotates to Wild. It's never getting nerfed in Wild. It might be, because it might not be Wild. Like they might bring it to standard in the form of a core set, and then in which case it's like, are we just never dusting forever and ever and ever? I think you should have a goal in mind. I'm gonna dust because I'm gonna have enough dust for a full expansion.
Right.
So I'm gonna hit the button probably. But
so like that's kind of why. Yeah, and that's why I was dusting at rotation whenever, just my duplicates, not all of the cards, but at rotation, because at what point are you never dusting your cards and then just like forking over all of your gold and all of your monies?
I'm waiting for them to nerf Duskfallen Aviana. Come on.
Right. So it's kind of like that's the point that I was like, yeah, I was like, okay, rotation's coming. Something that I can see being super powerful and Wild, maybe I'll keep it, but for the most part, I'm just like dusting all my duplicates at rotation. Twist might change that a little bit, since we are seeing a lot more kind of frequent bans. Is it just going to be like, oh, this card's never going to get it unless it's like the off chance? Or is it, okay, I'm still just going to dust them all so that I can have usable dust and create the shiny cards, right? Like, that's always fun too.
I think it does like lend like something like Broom, like where like it's busted. It just needs like it needs its chance. And like, well, what if they put Broom in core?
Right.
Like,
yeah, it's like, okay, I'll keep Broom, but Duskfallen Aviana is probably a safe distance.
Yeah, Duskfallen Aviana is probably fine. But I'm just saying, it's like
Rats.
They unnerfed Kel'Thalas, so I'm not putting anything past them as far as like a Kel'Thas.
There's some suspect decision making from time to time.
So I don't know. I would keep hold of copies of Broom or like cards you think are really good, like Raised Dead, like just like Kobold Librarian. Just like hold on to your copies of Kobold Librarian. Like it's not. You're only getting 5 dust. It moves to core and they nerf it.
And boom! Now you're getting what 8 times the amount? Like
don't be shocked. Don't be shocked.
Especially the difference for common cards with like nerf refund dust versus just the 5 dust that you get for disenchanting. Like, yeah, okay, I'll hold on to my common cards. Easy peasy for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
All right, what's next? Is that all the news?
I think we do it all?
So there's one other thing that I kind of wanted to touch on, and it's kind of more of a follow-up from last week's, which is why I didn't put it in the show notes. And now Hydra and Nate were like, yeah, that was the last thing. That was the last thing in the notes. That thing is that voting has opened now that they've announced all of the primes. Voting is open to choose your Titan. I chose Voltron. No surprises there. The community at large is choosing Sargeras and telling one another that they're choosing Sargeras so that you can get additional free packs. So, however much I would like to do a personal stump speech for Voltron, if I knew that the community was rigging it before I placed my vote, I would have voted alongside the community and gotten my pack. So you can do so too and vote for Sargeras the Destroyer, or vote with your heart and vote for Voltron.
Wait, so what's the deal if everyone, like whoever gets the most votes and you voted for that one, like you get a pack? Is it like choose my champion or something?
Yeah. So it's like after subsequent weeks, and I'll pull up the exact article on it to make sure I don't get any of this at all amiss. But my general understanding was that each week, you'll vote, and then a certain number of champions will move on. The ones that move on, the people get a free pack. I think you get a free pack just for voting too.
Oh, okay. So multiple free packs potentially.
Do you have the link handy, Sheep? Because I'd like to vote now.
That is what I'm pulling up because that is a good thing to do that with.
Like it's not just like super obvi for everybody, right?
Well, I think Sargeras is like a very popular character in WoW. Like, especially
from like very low.
Like he's not a Titan. He's like the anti-Titan, and he's like
anti-Titan.
And Titan, and it's like he's a big deal for he's like basically the basis of the Warlock clan, and so like the Warlock mains are like he's also like kind of a cool flashy card, but like not very good, so he's a Timmy favorite. Like
there's a lot of
factors and there's a lot of factors at work here.
I appreciate you guys.
Schmoopie, want a Slim Jim?
You want a Slim Jim, brother?
Why can't I do this in game? Why do I have to go to the website though? Right?
That's a great question.
It would be nice if they let you do that.
And they also don't detail the deets there. I think it was on one of the social media accounts where they did that thing. So definitely like the over communication in other places, but also please put it on your website, Blizzard. It helps us all.
Yeah, well, it's a good thing everyone is plugged in so that we know what's going on, because sometimes it's like hard to know that stuff. So
yeah, so definitely go in and vote to choose your Titan. And if you want the guaranteed pack, probably choose Sargeras, or vote with your heart and choose Voltron Prime.
Yep.
Or just choose Sargeras.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think it's time we ask some questions.
Oh, wait. Sorry, one final thing I wanted to share, because Sheep had brought it up. There was a Twitter post by this podcast called Born to be Wild.
Oh yeah.
Oh, let's do that thing.
That was kind of fun, right? I mean, it won't take long, but that was cute. I like that.
Cool. We could definitely
talking about
do that
Sheep
now.
or the post?
Both.
Are we
Sheep's
doing
kind of cute.
What is the most iconic Hearthstone card? Yeah, we got some engagement. That was fun. I think that's it's not a ton, but hey, we'll take it.
that was a lot of fun. So we had the example that we gave, but we said pick unrelated, was Nozdormu the Eternal. So of course, Nozdormu is the Born to Be Wild kind of de facto mascot there. So that's kind of why I chose to put Nozdormu the Eternal. Also, on the 15th of every month, we have Nozdormu Day,
Sometimes.
where we get our
Well, when
most of the time. That's true. So we have some other nominations for the most iconic cards, and I know what mine is personally, but I'm gonna read these community nominations. They are Weasel Tunneler.
That was Swagwar, by the way.
I love it.
You picked that one.
We've got everyone get in here. We've got Grim Patron.
I mean, that's up there.
Yeah, if the OGs.
That's the problem is if you haven't, if you didn't play 7 years ago.
Wow. Yeah.
It doesn't mean anything to you, really.
Or play memes.
Yeah.
It was good for a minute
at
there.
one point. It was really good. Yeah. Got Warsong Commandered. In fact. Sunday nominated Alex Straza, Patches, Leroy, or Dr. Seven.
Yeah, those are pretty good ones.
El Tino also went with Leroy Jenkins. We start the show with the time step. Let's do this. I mean, iconic.
Every time I hear that, I always think Reno Jackson.
Harrison Jones.
We're gonna be rich. Busy Peon went with Dr. Seven, Dr. Boom.
Yeah.
I went ahead and put mine in there, which I'll kind of be more ambiguous about until we're talking about ours. Ocelot went with the best stats for the cost, Boulder Fist Ogre. We've also got Jiraxis, uncontested. Another Leroy Jenkins. Enoyotron, submitted Enoyotron. Darth Decisive went with Renethal.
That Enoyotron's kind of conceited, hey?
Hello.
They like their own tweets too. It's pretty funny. Always Huffer went with Chillwind Yeti.
Wow.
Pretty iconic.
It is.
And then finally, we've got another for Dr. Seven. So,
wait. They didn't pick Animal Companion?
You know, you're right. Always Huffer went with Chillwind Yeti.
It's so
Could have
funny
gone
because
with Animal Companion, which is always Huffer.
I feel like some of these were like really iconic, like Pepperidge Farms remembers, right? Dr. Boom is like definitely iconic, but it's old school iconic, right? Not
because it was good.
Yeah. Like I always have a soft spot in my
And
heart
that's
for
still
Dr. Boom,
sus,
but like
really.
but it's not good anymore. I'm surprised we didn't see any like Reno Jacksons, or I was gonna say for me personally, either like probably Ragnaros would be mine, but like
I think Reno's return to standard was not good enough, and so
yeah. But we didn't
It
get
was
a brand
forgotten about.
nomination either, and
That's 'cause-
Brand's return to standard was
because everyone was mad about it. It's just it's like go back to Wild. You don't belong here.
All right, so we gonna do our picks?
Yeah, I'll go with Ragnaros. It has to be. I wanted to say Lotheb, but I don't think Lotheb's like iconic. I think Lotheb's just like forever good, like the card that we're using 10 years later. But I don't think he's all that iconic. Although I can still hear that like I see you or whatever, right? But Ragnaros is iconic. Definitely.
Yeah, multiple shaman portraits from based out of Ragnaros or Maragnaros. Like, I think that's a really solid pick. Hydra, what about you, bud?
So there is zero reasons why I cannot pick Leroy. Like I have to. I would like to be more original. Maybe like call
Corcoran
something.
the Elite Boy.
Yeah, Corcoran the Elite Boy. But no, like it is. How many times have you hit concede when you heard Leroy and you're like, you know what? I don't even need to hear Jenkins. Right? Like I'm already out. Like that, and then you're like, oh, maybe they don't have the shadow step. Oh wait, yeah, they do. So yeah, like to me, that card, until Mr. Smite showed up, that card hit you in the face and killed you, right? So Mr. Smite, which isn't really played because nobody plays Pirate Warrior anymore, Leroy was the thing. It was the thing that killed you in an aggro deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're playing aggro druid, which you wouldn't play that card. But yeah, that's me pick.
Nice. That's a good pick.
Super solid pick. SchmoopieDaddy, what is your pick?
So I'm gonna go based on. So I'm a little bit newer to the game than you guys. I started playing right at the end of Boomsday. I remember playing in the Boomsday Wild Meta. I remember Rusticon's Rumble coming out. I remember nothing changing. And so if I'm going to pick based on longevity of like my experience in Wild and also like old cards, I think Lotheb. Like talk about like your classic like 29th, 30th card to just jam in a deck. I don't know what the hell to do. All right, just throw in Lotheb. Like
Lotheb is always
worst
good.
comes
Yeah.
worst
Even
comes
in
to worst,
aggro.
he's like now
Top end of aggro.
there's a see what people forget was there was a time in the Stormwind meta when Lotheb was too slow because it didn't actually affect the Demon Seed. Like not the turn it was coming down. And Reno was also like power crept. So like we will reach a point where Lotheb is not good enough. But right now, I think like it's almost like Big Priest. Like if Big Priest is playable or if Lotheb is playable, it's a good canary in the coal mine as to like is this a decent Wild meta? And so I'm gonna go with Lotheb.
You know what? You said that we will reach a point where Lotheb isn't good enough. We haven't reached it yet.
That's right. And it's been a long time.
Like Nate said, Nax is like 2014, right? So it's almost 10 years.
It's probably the diamond card I've used the most. Honestly, like that between that and patches. And I don't want to step on somebody else's choice, so I won't say any more.
So the card that I chose is that other diamond card that we still use, which is Patches. So when Patches came out, he was in charge. He was on top of the world. He was nerfed. Yahar. He's only saying Yahar, and he can't go face or even rush. But you know what? We still play him to this day. We still play Patches. And
he's the best card in Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. That is what I posit. Not posit, but posit.
And you still curse. Gosh darn it! I drew Patches.
Not if you're playing the Pirate Warrior quest line. Like then it's kind of okay.
Maybe we'll play it if they unnerf it.
Please.
I have okay. Has anybody else done this? I have played Shadow Aggro Priest.
Mm-hmm.
I have kept Patches because I have double Parachute Brigand in hand.
Okay, well, yes. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I've been flamed for this. I've been flamed for this line, but I have kept Patches in hand because I have double Parachute Brigand.
No, I've done it before. At that point, if you have,
5/5 on one.
Yeah, seems worth.
Like maybe not Pirate Rogue because you have so many other Pirate 1-drops. Right. Maybe not Pirate Warrior, but like Pirate. Like if you're playing Aggro Priest.
Oh.
Take it in hand. Ben from work disagrees with me, which is why I absolutely know it's the correct line. Absolutely, yes. Oh. Keep him in hand. Go for it.
We love you, Ben.
Ben from work, I love you.
That's hilarious.
He's like, no, that's wrong. I'm flaming you. Perfect. I'll take it.
That's funny.
All right, Nate, cue the music.
Well, that was fun.
So is your face.
And now, unrelated advice with Nate Wolf.
That was actually supposed to say with SchmoopieDaddy, because
he didn't do last week's episode yet. We did it last week when I was unhinged, and it's okay.
but we're picking on you for this segment, and because what I want to do is I want to build on the last question, right? So like you talked to me about how to increase my cardio, right? Yeah. But I have a bigger problem than not being able to run.
How do you decrease your cardio
and as fast as I want to, right? Like
sure.
Plus, running in like 90-degree weather isn't that's not helping the situation. In fact, it's
No.
making it worse. When I'm done, dude, I am soaked. And I don't mean just like my armpits. I mean like below the waist, man. Like it is bad. It is bad.
With a healthy endocrine system. Got it.
It is. And I need to know what like, don't just tell me baby powder. Like, what do I do? Like, help me control this situation.
Bro, take a shower.
No. That is we're talking
That's
like
dealing with it after it's happened.
you can shower before all you want and after all you want. How do I not, like, how do I contain, like, is there things I can purchase? Like what's
any preventative measures?
Sure.
preventative?
So some preventative measures I would follow if you don't want to sweat.
No, I want to sweat, but I want
Don't be in shape, because you know what? If you're in shape and you're sweating profusely, you're doing something right, and that's absolutely not what you want to do. Also, don't wear white.
Okay.
Because if you want to give a free show, I mean, you do wear white. Like, if that's a signal you want to send.
Free wet t-shirt.
But like, if you want to be like sweaty, and wear white, that's probably not a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, not bad advice, just interestingly executed.
Thank you. I would say, yeah. So like pigs don't sweat, right? So if you want an alternative to sweating, you could do what pigs do, like find some mud or something like that and roll around in that.
Oh, okay.
And if you roll around in that, that'll probably do the job, and then you won't be sweating.
Do I roll in the mud before I run or after I run or while I'm running?
No. During. So like
during the run.
Oh my god!
Just like flip and roll into some mud and then continue the run. It'll like clog my pores.
I don't know where you work, and I don't know how available mud is. So like,
I'm very close to a river. I could.
Okay, so mud's available. I was gonna say, like, if you have to make your own mud, I would do that. Like, I'd run with a bucket, and then you're sweating because like you're running with like additional work. But at the same time,
weight. Right.
Yes, added weight. So like you have a good primer for when you should stop, and so you just sort of dump the water out where you find a good patch of dirt.
Wiser words have never been spoken, and you heard that on
Born to be wild.
I had to cut you off there, man.
It's fair.